I guess we can get into this. DJ Payne 1, Why Producers Hate Busy Works. Damn busy. Look at his face, bro. The crazy thing is, dude, this isn't the first time Busy has made this video. This isn't the first time Busy and Payne did this video together. Usually people make these kind of videos. For example, when people started saying Ty Lopez is a scam, Ty Lopez started putting out videos titled, "Is Ty Lopez a Scam? Ty Lopez exposed for being a scam." So we're going to turn the playback speed up for this one, and we're going to speed run this because, yeah, let's just get into it.
These conversations, honestly, you more than me, you get more in the weeds.
It sounds simple, but once I understood the concept of entropy, it all made sense.
See, there you go. There you go. That's some nerdy shit.
Yeah, but this is biblical, and I want people to understand how simple it is to understand what you're saying. Even Jesus
It's biblical, so understand how simple it is.
said it.
It's just, I know it's funny because I say we were nerds, and you go, well, once I grappled with the reality of entropy, then I see your video, which was titled "Why Producers Hate Busy Works." I was like, I swear my title in my head was going to be "Why Producers Hate DJ Payne 1." Strangers on the internet can't really hate someone they've never met. We're not mass murderers or genocidal dictators or anything like that. So you can be mad at something and it probably has nothing to do with us. It's just we become symbols of what angers you, or we're just convenient targets for anonymous
you guys are
harassment, whatever the
archetypes
case is for the most
of
part.
the
But I do feel like there
psyche,
are specific situations, specific instances in which it does feel like there's hatred coming your way, hatred coming my way. So
Yeah, it just shows like ideas are just floating around probably, and we have these antennas, and we're all tapped into the same river. It's just like who's going to put their net out and catch the idea and then cook up the fish. So I mean, I can't claim the idea. It was floating around the ether.
well, and okay, so when I went to review the video,
interesting. I can't claim the idea, but the same guy who invented FL Studio tutorials, right? Can't claim the idea.
I searched because I couldn't find it. I just searched "Why Producers Hate Busy Works" and a bunch of videos came up, anti-Busy Works videos, and one of them that stood out, and it ends up not being an anti-Busy Works video, but it was by EB on the Track. And I clicked on that because I recognize his name. He was going through a thread that you posted on Twitter over a year ago. Why industry producers hate busy works. So what inspired you to make that video? Was that a continuation of that thread from a year ago, or is it some other stuff's going on? You got new haters.
Really was a feeling. It's like being in a relationship, because you're in a relationship, right? And congrats. And as a man, you can feel when believe it or not. I mean, you're fit. You know how to be a cat father. It's very hard to do. Like, I'm chunky. Like I told you, I had to work out, so I did not look overweight on this camera right now. But so the first
That's very honest of you.
yeah, people got to
It's
know.
hilarious. I had to work out so I wouldn't look chunky on this camera. That's like some Mac from It's Always Sunny from Philadelphia shit.
Father out here. But what I realized is that I kind of forgot your question. I went on tangents, and that's what I get.
Yeah, because you,
let's
just
go
talk
in that
about
direction.
random
The two of us talk
nothing.
Maybe too damn much sometimes. All the videos where Weaver would get frustrated with my videos being too long, I'm sitting there watching him just kind of shit on the length of them. Like, Payne just talks too damn much. I'm like, man. But at the same time, I'm thinking maybe he has a point. So I've actually tried to script my videos better. I think there are valid reasons for us getting criticized for content. There's always something we can improve on. And I also want
I think the main thing DJ Payne 1 needs to improve on is like
to kind of start
not make full-on videos about like random comments he gets on YouTube. I think that'll make for way better content.
by just having a moment of honesty where I don't feel like I'm an innocent victim of internet hate in 99% of all cases. If I'm getting trolled by people I don't know from a can of paint, and likewise who don't know me, that's not hate, that's just annoying shit, whatever. The video I dropped last Friday, or last Saturday, which was a review of a reaction to one of Bolo's videos, shout out to him, a great video. The first 15 seconds are completely sarcastic, but some people took that so seriously they stopped watching after 15 seconds. I got DMs on Christmas morning, people talking shit. I got comments talking about you're a culture vulture, your beats are trash, this and that. And also, like, I don't hold my tongue. And I don't necessarily like this about myself, but sometimes if someone is, I don't even know, like, why do I...
Isn't that like the point of those kind of videos, like to have that kind of title, and then for people who didn't watch the full video to engage with it, and so that people who will want to see the full video do engage with? I don't know anything.
Even care if someone's talking some shit in the comment section. Why do I have to respond? You know what I mean? And I don't feel like you paint yourself out to be an innocent victim either, because you talk your shit. I've seen you talk shit in my videos, in my comments, and you've had feuds. That's your business. I just try to keep away from the producer feud energy. But I mean, do you feel like some of that energy that we give out creates some of this backlash?
Yeah, I mean, being human is to be flawed. When we quantize our music too much, it's not human. Therefore, flaw makes it human. And I think what I was going about on what I just realized is that just like relationships at home, romantic, you start to feel the resistance. There's a wall. It's an invisible wall. And when you feel that wall, you have to dig to a trigger point almost on purpose so that you can address the invisible wall. And so what I did with that video, not that it was thought or pre-thought or whatever, it was simply that I just had a feeling one day, made a video because I felt a lot of resistance with my content. If the numbers weren't picking up, we were getting live stream viewers, but the long form wasn't working. So I said, okay, I'm gonna make a very sharp statement that's gonna trigger folks. I did it on purpose. And excuse me, once I trigger those folks, then I asked them on my community tab, I said, what do y'all really want to learn for real? That's one, after I posted that video, I asked them a question. Because now that
what do y'all
they've aired out
really
their
want to
grievances
learn
with me,
for
now they can
real?
feel like they can communicate. And what business is relationship at scale. That's all it is. And so I'm trying to take down that invisible wall with my audience. Long story shorter is that I didn't have my computer for 3 months. It just broke and I didn't know how to fix it. So I lost a lot of time talking to my audience day to day. And so it hindered, you know, the content. It was a disconnect. So I was like, how do I reactivate this connection? So that's how I did it. It's simply talking at a problem until they express the real problem. And now they feel free to talk. It's not like I'm a dictator, you know, type of thing. So that's,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. And so I'm curious to hear, because you guys address a lot of things, whether it's, you know, the stories of, what's the record label name, Rand? Funk Volume.
Funk Volume. Oh yeah, he's speaking very freely about that nowadays.
Yeah, and I'm learning stories from that. I'm learning your stories from just day to day what you do, and then I'm learning Aaron's stories about managing artists who just flip on them.
Which, by the way, the Funk Volume stories are the worst fucking stories you'll ever fucking hear. He just bitches about, like, people who are essentially kids not knowing how the music industry works, and you're their manager, and instead of, like, guiding them and teaching them, you just dissolve the whole label. And this is, like, supposed to be a symbol of success and someone to follow and listen to in the music industry, you know what I mean? Like, fuck out of here, dude.
And I'm sure we have these betrayal stories, but, you know, if Jesus is the best character in the Bible and we're trying to be the best people on the planet Earth, we're going to have to experience what the best character experienced at some point in time, which is betrayal, your team. You know, it's a lot.
Yeah,
but,
they're very Christ-like.
I don't want to overtalk, but I agree. It's when you are,
they all have Messiah complexes. All these weird producer grifters, all of them.
Okay, so for example, do you make tutorials every now and again?
Yeah, you know, I haven't for a while, but yeah, sometimes I do.
And you might be like, okay, here's a 251 chord progression, how to make soul samples. But as a beginner, they don't even know the words to search. They only know how to search Rick Ross tutorial. So when me and you make videos, for example, or when people talk about us, pardon me, for example, we are the Rick Ross, so to speak, when people don't know how to talk to a specific meta layer, if that makes sense. So we become a topic.
I have a lot of theories about that. And then also right now, in your Twitter thread, I think you specified that it was industry, and I think maybe you put industry in quotes, industry producers that were hating on you specifically. And like a lot of people that claim they're industry producers aren't really industry producers. I mean, everyone's an industry producer, right? And I think you made that distinction too, that people who claim they're industry are just kind of saying that as a marketing ploy because it sounds cooler than being an internet producer, even though it really doesn't, because everyone's doing everything and the internet producers are in the industry. I mean, the fact that internet money are industry producers at the highest level should show that that distinction is meaningless these days. And it's been meaningless. It was more not even gatekeeping, just people trying to look cooler than other people, which was silly. A big criticism that I see you getting all the time is that why is BusyWorks always teaching us how to make beats? He has no placements. He has, you know, he's not in the business. He's not in the industry. I've never actually seen you.
It's not because he has no placements. It's because he fucking sucks, dude. It's because he fucking sucks.
Try to go into that lane. It doesn't make any sense to some people that you never tried going for those accolades. Why?
You know, think about Jesus in the Bible, for example, not to make it biblical, but, you know, his own people, they didn't believe him. There's a separation between Pharisees and the believers of Christ, for example. And, you know, when people are hardened in their ways, it's hard for them to accept new ways of doing anything. So when people see BusyWorks beats, you know, a person that's not ruled by Sony, Warner, you know.
He's using the Lord's name in vain, and I don't like that shit.
Universal, and I'm not signing anybody. I owe nobody anything. As far as those major labels or those three main companies, they can't comprehend how the deal flow is created. Like you're one of the, you know, few people you've seen that Telegram group. You know, I've had 100 of the top leaders in there. Yourself, you know, Curtis King was in there, Av McCree, MG the Future, Craftmaster Production. We had Cashmere in there, Illmind was in there, Decap. Just any like top producer you could probably think of in this space was in there. It was 100 of us, and then it multiplied to about 200, and it got too big. And I said, I got to close this because I can't control the deal flow. It was getting too big, and so I closed the Telegram group.
He closed it because he can't control the deal flow, right? So people were getting work without him, and he didn't like that. You know, he wanted to be Mr. Frank Lucas of the whole operation. And by the way, like, you're not going to be able to get the top performers to fucking all sit there and work together because everyone's doing their own fucking thing. All those people he named, they all kind of do their own thing, and they all experience, like, different levels of success doing it. You know what I mean? And depending on when that happened, like, a lot of those people were probably too busy to go along with your bullshit. Busy, like, you don't need to, like, he's about to go and talk shit. Oh, they're not driven like me and all this shit. Like,
and I was, it kind of did kill the vibe a little bit, but I had to reset. But long story short, it's,
Had to
I think the
reset.
first thing is that,
Yeah,
you know, the traditional
totally.
industry, they think, okay, if he didn't follow this pathway of getting a pub deal or this pathway of dealing with those 3 companies that I talked about, or he doesn't talk about publishing and the back end and all the
Look,
machine
DJ
and the
Payne
mechanisms
one's
that they've
falling
created for us,
asleep.
then he's not legit. Because that's the only thing they see is Timbaland's the only definition of a producer. To me, I grew up liking Ryan Leslie. He was an independent, and he showed me that you can be creative but still do business stuff. And you're one of those rare polymaths. I was saying that you're both creative and business. It's so, like, I've been on high levels with my mentor. Shout out to Chris Moyer. He was my mentor back in 2020 to about 2022. We were doing a lot of deal flow. I was his business partner at the time, and we were trying to get deals with Snoop and like Saweetie, I think, at one point. And who else was on that? And Mars, my guy Mars, and all those folks, and Rants from 1500 or nothing. So we were aiming for the top, like with this Web3 stuff. And what it showed me is, like, if this is where opportunity comes from, why am I chasing the opportunity when I'm creating the opportunity? It made no sense to me. It's like working backwards. And no shade to anybody. On Clubhouse, you know, there's a lot of public speaking. It was the golden era of what social media really is. It was hearing people's true thoughts, no filter.
Nobody
I was in a
caught
room
any
randomly, and I
shade
was public
because
speaking
nobody
about
knows
business
what the
stuff,
fuck
completely
you're
irrelevant for
saying,
music stuff.
dude.
In another room that spawned, this lady just expressed that she needed help with this deal that she got. So it was up in, I think, Denver, Colorado, if I'm not mistaken, with the MLB. She had this huge event. It was called Field Day. This is straight out of pandemic, by the way. So it was the first time people getting back together. And it was this huge event in a whole MLB field. And it had a whole pitch deck and everything. I think I sent it to the Telegram group. And it had Snoop on the bill. It had, I think Beyonce was on the bill, Alicia Keys, if I'm not mistaken. I have to go back and see the actual lineup. They were willing to pay thousands of dollars for custom music. And so I could have taken an opportunity and just been like selfish and whatever. But I said, I knew that my guy Mars he wanted to do something big. He wanted to create like a We Are the World for his era. And I said, this is your time to shine. He was just talking about this. And I was like, this is the perfect time to do it. So I linked him up with that girl. But the opportunity was random. It wasn't like I signed up for a website. I didn't go to some magical place. It just appeared out of thin air, you know? Once I realized, like, opportunity is what we create.
Yeah, and that random field day at the MLB is definitely like as renowned as We Are the World today. I know everyone watching this video knows what the fuck he's talking about.
I don't like relying on other people for opportunity. I've been burnt too many times. It could be a trust issue. But I would rather, you know, be what's it called? Who's the person that passes the rock in basketball? Point guard?
You're
Point
on the
guard?
wrong podcast. It's
Yeah, Busy has zero, like he's had relationships with like all the producers he's named, but he's not cool with any of those producers anymore. You know, that's why it took him 2 months to fix his computer. Yeah, dude, this dude, it falls out with everybody he's cool with. You know what I mean? Everybody.
I would rather be the point guard and you guys can shoot the ball. I'll just pass the rock. I would rather be that guy than the guy trying to be in the studio sessions because I have a son. He's on the other side of this wall. I would rather be with him than in a session with whoever. You can name any celebrity in the world. I don't care. They're not gods to me. And I think, you know, once you realize there's 5 motivations of producers, wealth is the first
Random
motivation.
shit that
Health is the
makes
second
no
motivation.
sense.
Social status, that's the one most people chase. Power and mastery. That's what I teach. But most people in the music industry, they want social status. They want to work with Drake because Drake makes them cooler. They want to work with Drake because Drake will make them cool in front of girls and then they'll get the girl.
So yeah, in 2025, everyone wants to work with Drake because Drake's gonna make you cool.
Girls' attention, and then it's like once you already found the girl that you want and you have the family that you want, you're not motivated by like validating things anymore. It doesn't motivate you. As me, I don't want to speak for other people, but as me, it doesn't motivate me. And so that's why I take the path I take, and it's completely different than everybody. I would rather have no competition than try to compete for, you know, X, Y, and Z spots on the XYZ album. It just doesn't. I can go deeper, but that's
You'd
my
rather
my
not
philosophy
compete
comes from. I
because
work with
you
$1 billion
can't
brands.
compete.
You know, the near protocol.
Right.
In fact, the Razer computer that crashed is called the Razer Blade, and we did that's $1 billion company. We did
I
back in
remember that. Yeah, you have a
Yeah, the computer that broke. Keep promoting them. Why not? Look how smug and proud he is. That
partnership with them, or you had a partnership. I don't know if it's ongoing.
yeah.
No, not ongoing. It was about 3 years, but that was longer than Metro. You know, we had Metro Boomin on the campaigns, Dead Mouse, Sunny
Oh, you had a longer partnership with Razer than Metro. Nice.
Digital, Murder Beats. I can show you guys the pitch deck where I pitched them on literally creating opportunity. That's why I said I'm not going to chase placements. I'm going to create placements. And and you know, in the meantime, I'll pull it up actually. Once I got the first deal from Caroline, I forgot her last name. Forgive me, Caroline, but she's from Hello Creative. Linked me up with Razer the first time because it's such a
Horrible. The person who he doesn't even remember.
long story,
Whatever.
but basically, I was competing with Native Instruments and competing with Image Line for their own keyword of FL Studio. They couldn't even beat the content that we were making. So it's like, I can't beat them, join them type of thing. So they brought me on to push the Razer campaign because they were going to use me to get the keyword for FL Studio, if that makes sense, for the Razer Blade instead of trying to spend money on ads. Me and you can understand that game, but like to the average viewer, they don't understand this. That's why it's hard to communicate what we do behind the scenes. But yeah, I mean, just take those simple things. You know, I work with $4 billion brands. Not to overtalk you, is I work with Razer Music, Near Protocol with my mentor, $7 billion company, Sweetwater $1 billion company, Avid, who makes Pro Tools $1 billion company. And you should have saw. I wish you were there to see the. Do you remember when Pro Tools made its comeback with Devon and them? It was like Help Me Devon and Wavy Wayne and all that. But if you guys saw this, not you.
Yeah, y'all remember the Pro
video,
Tools comeback?
They would see that I was organizing the whole thing. I was raising everybody's value. I was talking about them like they're the greatest content creators in the world because they are. And I was making sure that their value was understood and that we're all going to make sure we equally get the value out of it. So I'm naturally a deal maker behind the scenes. You know, that's why I see people win. It's just I don't understand why people keep trying to tear down. I guess that's the tricky part. So yeah, I went.
Well, we're artists, and so we're not above all the weird artist stuff. You know, on our podcast, we're always talking about betrayal and artists switching up on us and why are artists so hot and cold all the time. And, you know, as that's happening, I'm talking about it, but I am that. I have weird tendencies. Producers, we're artists. We do weird stuff all the time. Producers are weirdos.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys could really see at home, but this is the pitch deck that I pitched to Razor back in, you know, whatever year this is. And I want to show people an important slide because one of the slides, of course, I'm not going to find it, but it basically in the pitch deck it talks about, and this is.
He spent more time on this PowerPoint than he's ever spent on a fucking beat in his life, bro. Ever.
Me with a lot of can y'all see that? With industry producers who produce 10 billion streams in one room. These are the guys: Go Grizz, Diego Ave, Jay Swish, Nasmore, and Brick LeMay. You know, I was in LA, and then here's the campaign with Razor. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's me, Metro, you know, Noisia. That's the one I keep forgetting, Noisia. And here's the CEO of Razor. Oops, sorry. Here's the CEO of Razor. CEO of Spectrasonics and them. So I create these, you know, opportunities from scratch is what I'm saying. But in this pitch deck, I talked about, it's not just about me. It's about having, whenever I pitch these companies, and I'll shut up about this, is instead of me using my audience, like, hey, you can reach 1 million subscribers. I'll say, let me join forces with DJ Payne 1. Let me join forces with Wavy Wayne. Help Me Devon, Decap, Irko. All of us combined have a reach of 10 million, 20 million. Wouldn't a company want to reach as many people as possible than just reach 1 million people out of 20 million?
No, it's smart. I mean, if on my end, because you have reached out to me with different opportunities before, and it's appreciated. You know, it's just good coalition building.
Oh, thank you. See, I forgot. I just do so much random stuff. I forgot. And I don't want to ever make people feel obliged. I just want us to receive the value as opposed to Facebook or Google. It's like we are the ones doing the hard work.
I wrote down actually 3 reasons why I think, and it's something that I think we kind of might have in common. 3 reasons why we might be considered corny in the producer community. Now, I think one reason is because we're nerds. Like when we have these conversations, honestly, you more than me, you get more in the weeds of the abstract, but I tend to rant and get, like, I wasn't supposed to be a nerd. I was a juvenile delinquent with a 1.8 GPA.
Rappers are producers.
Somehow I ended up in college by the skin of my teeth through an academic probationary program. And I realized that I actually liked reading. And so I kind of adapt to that environment. And now I'm a nerd and I use weird words. And you look at the average producer, content creator, and they don't talk like you. They don't talk like me. They don't come from the framework that we come from. And I wonder if that alienates people. It's like a USP at the same time as an idiosyncrasy that might like.
No, it's the smugness, the smudgeness. It's not that you're nerds, dude.
There I go, an idiosyncrasy. It's some weird shit that we do that might turn people off.
It sounds simple, but once I understood the concept of entropy, it all made sense. And once you understand the power.
Of course, that's why people don't like you, is because the concept of entropy.
Yeah. See, there you go. There you go.
Let's look up the concept of entropy. A measure of disorder or randomness within a system, essentially indicating how dispersed or spread out energy is within that system. It's closely tied to the second law of thermodynamics, which states that the entropy of an isolated system will always increase or remain constant over time, meaning that systems naturally tend towards greater disorder unless external work is done to maintain order. Okay, so maybe, bro. Is Busy saying that since he can't control all humans, that the music producer space is too random and chaotic, that he can't control who likes him? Or does he mean like some totally random bullshit that makes no sense? Let's find out.
You go. That's some nerdy shit.
That's some nerdy shit.
But this is biblical. And I want people to understand how simple it is to understand what you're saying.
It's biblical and it's simple. Very few things in this world are biblical and also like very simple.
Even Jesus said it.
It's just, I know it's
even
funny
Jesus
I say we're nerds and you go, well, once I grappled with the reality of entropy.
Yeah,
of course, there you go.
It's just they need to be educated. It's like if we have a duty of being, there's a book called E-Myth too by Michael Gerber that you guys can read about this same concept. The reason pyramid is so pronounced in America is because there's a centralized point at the top. That point goes into 3 points, let's say, and those 3 points go into 10 points. It's all a pyramid of energy. And the same thing when Jesus said, the man who sows seed into a field, it might land on a rock and it grows up and it gets plucked away by a bird. You might throw your seed into a soil and it grows up to be a huge tree. You might throw your seed and then, what do they say? The devil comes by and does something to it or something like that. The point is that we can sow 1,000 seeds, but maybe only 6 turn into a tree. And I learned from an old writer. I think it was Hermes Trismegistus, if I'm not mistaken, in the Paramander. He wrote, every tree comes from a seed, but every seed doesn't turn into a tree. In other words, the probability that a DJ Payne 1 can exist, a Busy Works Beats can exist, we're probably 100. You saw the whole group of powerful people. So let's say there's 200 of us out of how many people make videos and stuff do you think?
This dude is studying ancient mystery schools he's studying all this ancient knowledge from Hermes Trismegistus to make the most mid bullshit and give people 30-minute videos with nothing. You know what I mean? So, congratulations, Busy.
Or our producers in general.
Millions.
And then you got 5,000 or so content creators, and then you got the top of the top, which is maybe 200. 200 is way overboard. No, it's not really a real number. But anyway, then you got the people who are in the top of the top, but they are the ones that actually take action. That's what scared me to death, making that group. There was only about 6 people that would actually take action. I'm like, do you guys understand? There's power in this room. Like, we could literally make a decision and change the world right now. And only 6 people would take action. That's what scared me to death. Because I'm like, this is the best of the best, and the best of the best doesn't even care to be great. Then that made me realize people are born to be what they're going to be. And that's what I meant by entropy. There's naturally going to be people at the top, naturally people under them, and then naturally people who are working to be the next rung of the pyramid, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, though.
It's not what entropy... That's not what entropy means, bro. That's not what... That makes no sense. We're closing that. I don't know if he was done. I hope he was. Fuck them. Fuck them both. A couple creeps.